The Panasonic GF2 has features like 1080p at 60 frames per second, a touchscreen, a 12 megapixel sensor, and some other shit, I forget. What's up everybody, it's me Steve, and on today's show I thought we would try things a little bit differently. Now, if you've ever seen the show before, you know that normally I talk about some camera or lens, my friend Aida does some modeling, and we pretty much call it a day. However, she's currently out of town, so I thought we would try something new. Now, I notice a lot of people that are into vlogging don't actually have a background in photography and therefore don't really know a whole lot about cameras. Basically, you just kind of look at your favorite celebrity and you see that they use a Canon G7X Mark II or a Sony RX100 Mark V, a Canon 80D, or a Sony a7S Mark II. Now, all of those are great cameras, but the problem is they fall in the range of around $1,000 to $2,000. Now, I know that can be a little bit overwhelming, and a lot of times people just end up spending a lot more money than they actually need to, which is why I wanted to make today's video. There are so many more affordable options out there than the main 3 or 4 cameras which everyone currently uses. So, for example, on today's show, we'll take a look at a Panasonic GF2. This is a Micro Four Thirds camera that was released back in January of 2011. Now, I know in terms of technology, 6 years is normally a long amount of time, but this is a camera that has actually aged incredibly well. This is currently retailing brand new on Amazon for around $359. However, I've seen this on eBay used for as low as $150 to $200. I thought it would be kind of a fun experiment to just put together an actual vlog solely using the Panasonic GF2 with the 14 to 42mm kit lens. So without further ado, let's take a look.
It's 2:30 in the afternoon. I just got to Starbucks. Not really what you would call a morning person.
Ice brandy almond latte for Richard.
It's Steve, actually.
Right.
The Panasonic has features like 1080p at 60 frames per second, a touchscreen, a 12 megapixel sensor, and it has image stabilization in-body, but with a catch. The in-body image stabilization only works with Panasonic lenses. Even though Olympus lenses are actually compatible with this camera, it's a bit confusing. They only support their own lenses in terms of the image stabilization. Now, one of the downsides of the GF2 is it doesn't have an articulating screen, so you're literally just talking to the lens and praying that it's in focus. However, that shouldn't be an issue because Panasonic actually does a really good job with face detection autofocus. So a lot of times when you're watching a YouTube video and you see the cameras constantly focused on the background instead of the person's face, you actually won't have that problem too often with the Panasonic. This is typical Florida, by the way. I should point out it's like the middle of February and it's still 80 degrees out here. I have no idea what cold weather is. I'm at the beach now, getting ready to go running. One other thing that I should point out about this camera is it doesn't have a microphone input, so you're basically stuck using the camera's little built-in stereo mic that's right up there by the shutter button. Now, in terms of filming, if the camera's actually like across the room from you, the microphone, I wouldn't suggest using it. I would actually use like an external recorder instead. The sound's gonna be a little too hollow and tinny. But however, in terms of vlogging, with the camera just about a foot away from your face, it actually does a pretty good job. This is where I'm headed. Basically start here at 26 and I go 2 miles this way to the pier and back, so it's a total of 4 miles, but can see in the background, it's so foggy today, you can't even see the pier. That's pretty crazy, like right in the middle of the afternoon. Alright guys, just finished running. Gonna head into Trader Joe's, pick up a few things, and I'll catch you guys later. I bought the GF2 back in 2012. I saw it on eBay used for $200 and I thought, sure, why not? But in all honesty, it actually just sat on a shelf for the past 5 years. In terms of Micro Four Thirds, I have a Panasonic G5 which has an articulating screen, a viewfinder, and is just sort of newer overall. So I never really saw any point to the GF2. It wasn't until a few days ago that I got the idea to make this video that I actually started to spend any real time with it. Since then, I began taking the camera with me everywhere I went, and the one thing that struck me as amazing is just how dependable that camera is. Whenever I needed to film anything on the spur of the moment, the GF2 was just there and it was ready to go. It didn't have any weird quirks or hang-ups, it just worked. And that's exactly what you want out of a vlog camera. So would I recommend the GF2? Yeah, I definitely would, but ultimately the point of this video is just to show you don't have to get stuck using the same 3 or 4 cameras that everyone else uses. There are so many other options out there that are much more affordable and are just as dependable. You just have to do the research. Anyway, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you again in the next episode. That's how you do clickbait too. It would be like, girl passes out at Starbucks. Barista can't take it anymore. All capital letters.
More of. They're out of white mocha. You realize it's not pumpkin spicy.